Back out comes Zapdos, fires off that kill shot of the Thunderbolt. It's going to be high Pidgeot by Pidgeot. What is that trainer's third Pokemon? Zapdos with shield advantage has a whopping 82% win rate. And unfortunately for this trainer, Poliwrath is not that counter they were looking for. It's going to be straight in and straight out. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back at it. It's been a few days because I've been sick and I did lose my voice. My voice has just about come back, so we're back on that grind. Featuring one of my favourite Pokemon, the King of the Sky, Shadow Zapdos. Today's battles have been submitted to the channel by a fellow content creator, LoX. LoX actually produces content on TikTok, so it's going to be linked down below. Make sure you go check him out. We've got a double water strategy in the back with the one and only GOAT Shadow Swampert and this season's most improved Pokemon, Poliwrath. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we lead Shadow Zapdos into Jellicent. You love to see it. The opponent petrified, say switch into Clefable. Interesting enough, running Charm. I think Fairy Wind is preferred, but against us, our very glassy team most certainly does not appreciate the Charm damage. We force ourselves early shield advantage and pivot into Swampert. You can see just the Charm damage starting to tear through Swampert. We commit a Protect Shield on the Meteor Mash bait. However, undeterred, LoX farms up, throws one Mud Shot and the Hydro Cannon for optimal fast move timing. Clefable withstands the damage, but Swampert says there's plenty more of where that came from. The second Hydro Cannon should be secure in the knockout, and it does. If Jellicent does return, Swampert will be reaching for that Hail Mary of the Quake. LoX actually chooses not to throw, instead continues to farm up. This savage of an opponent out here, horny for the debuff, throws the Bubble Beam. Swampert returns fire with the Earthquake, and we see the aggressive pivot into Zapdos. Zapdos over farms, fires off the Drill Peck. Drill Peck forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. If this is only a Bubble Beam, we might survive. Let's see. The opponent actually full send the Shadow Ball, vanquishing us back to our Pokeball. LoX is only one Mud Shot away from the Hydro Cannon, but I don't think Hydro Cannon will be lethal from this range. Hydro Cannon doesn't knock up. We do manage to get the Mud Shot farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Charizard, and Charizard most certainly is not about to appreciate this drink. Hydro Cannon near one shots. We send that Poliwrath, get the resisted counter farm down, and take that game. 2 for 2 on Jellicent leads the opponent this time, say switch into Gliscor, which also does not have an advantageous matchup against Zapdos. Zapdos forces a shield with the Drill Pecker. Then we see the catch of the Night Slash onto Swampert. The RNG gods show no mercy to the opponent as they see no boost. The opponent fires off Night Slash number 2 and the RNG gods say not today trainer. The opponent still doesn't boost and Swampert farms up towards the back-to-back Hydro Cannons. Gliscor pretty thick in its regular form, able to withstand the first, but Swampert fires off the second, deleting Gliscor. Back out comes Jellicent. We might see the opponent go for an aggressive Hex farm down. No, the opponent actually opt to throw the Surf, dump their energy. Back out comes Zapdos. It's Registeel in the back, everyone's favourite tin can, and Poliwrath is about to have a tasty little snack. We see the instant no shield deployed. Zap Cannon just doesn't get the job done, and we're going to fire off the Scald. Scald with a 50% chance to lower the opponent's attack. However, an attack drop would do absolutely nothing, as the opponent is using Lock On, which only does 1 damage, and you can't nerf it any further than that. LoX fires off the Icy Wind. We go for the undercharge, and I love this play. It looks like LoX is looking for the full Thundershock farm down. Can Zapdos get it? Yes, we can, and Zapdos leaves at 100 energy. Back out comes Jellicent, and there is no baiting. Does the opponent respect the damage? Yes, they do, but Zapdos able to outpace to Thunderbolt number 2, and it's going to be high Jellicent, bye Jellicent, get fucking wrecked. GG's, and thanks for playing. Shadow Zapdos absolutely popping off. Oof, tough lead. Zapdos doesn't fancy this work of Wall Rain, especially up to Protect Shields, but stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We catch the resisted Icicle Sphere onto our Poliwrath. The opponent answers our Poliwrath say switch with Giratina. LoX looks like he wants to flip this matchup. He's shielding up the first Dragon Claw that would do the most damage, and then he's going to return fire with the Icy Wind, which not only hits for super effective, but also lowers Giratina's attack. Giratina hits like a wet noodle at the best of times, and you can see after a 1-stage debuff, that Dragon Claw essentially did nothing. Poliwrath fires off Icy Wind number 2, getting Giratina down into the red. Poliwrath will easily survive this next Dragon Claw. However, I believe the opponent is on a 4 cycle, so they're going to outpace us by a single quick move. to the next Dragon Claw, and Poliwrath's bulk is about to be put to the test. Poliwrath survives on a sliver of HP, returns fire with the Icy Wind, and just like that, we take back switch. Back out comes Walrein. Walrein commits to the Powder Snow farm down. They only get 1 Powder Snow. However, they have got a 2-to-1 shield advantage. We send out a loaded Zapdos, go for a very risky Drill Peck bait. We force that Protect Shield, and Loex makes another Savage catch, catching Icicle Sphere number 2 onto Shadow Swampert. The opponent might look to bank an Icicle Sphere and then pivot. They actually continue to stay in, so Loex is going to invest his final Protect Shield on the Icicle Sphere. We need to be mindful of a potential catch. Loex farms up. There is no baiting. Does the opponent respect the damage? Oof. The opponent invests their final Protect Shield. It's now all shields down. It's Zapdos versus the world. In comes Zapdos. Zapdos fires off the Drill Peck immediately. Is Drill Peck enough to knock out? No, it's not. But Zapdos is going to be able to get the Thundershock farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Scizor. Scizor's pretty glassy. Is Thunderbolt enough to one-shot? No, it's not. The opponent is going to win, but my god, did that Thunderbolt do some huge damage. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Zapdos into Greninja. Electric versus Water. You'd think this is a good matchup, but let me tell you, Shadow Zapdos cannot tank a hit for shit. We see Loex invest an early protection, and to my surprise, the opponent full sends the Hydro Cannon. Loex then returns fire with the Drill Peck. Drill Peck forces our shield back. We're then looking to make the catch. Once again, onto Poliwrath. Loex is counting absolutely on point. The opponent answers our Poliwrath with Trevenant, and this is going to be one situation where Icy Wind isn't particularly going to help us out. Poliwrath will easily survive the Seed Bomb, return fire with the Icy Wind, which will hit for super effective. However, as we're going to lower the opponent's attack, we're going to give him even more farm. The opponent gets a huge farm down. Loex sends back out Zapdos, fires off the Drill Peck immediately, looking to get this Trevenant out of here, but the opponent chooses to invest their final Protect Shield. Loex gonna respect the Shadow Ball. Even one stage debuff, that would probably be lethal. Loex over farms, fires off the Drill Peck on the CMP side. It's going to be high Trevenant, by Trevenant. The opponent unlikely to send out Greninja. They actually choose to send in Charizard, and again we see a beautiful catch. Let's fucking go. Not only did we catch the charge move, we actually banked the Thunderbolt, and Zapdos does beat Charizard in charge move priority events. Back out comes Greninja. Greninja fires off the Hydro Cannon. We withstand the damage, return fire with our own Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is resisted, but almost knocks out. Back out comes Zapdos. Zapdos gets the Thundershock farm down. Back out comes Charizard, and you already know the drill. High Charizard, bye Charizard. GG's, and thanks for playing. You can already tell from these battles, Loex most certainly has been to score. What a lead. Zapdos into Gust Pidgeot. The opponent stays in, so Loex takes the initiative, fires off the Drill Peck, forcing himself early shield advantage. If the opponent's staying in such a poor matchup, I imagine they must be ABA weak. We see Loex respect the potential Brave Bird. I'll be honest, I don't know what language this is in, but it looks like that huge message displayed above Pidgeot's head looked like defense harshly lowered. They send out Swampert. Swampert is greeted with the Drill Peck again. We look to make the catch, but this time the opponent shows great discipline, holding their energy, but Poliwrath easily withstands the Earthquake. Loex continuing to farm up. We actually play to a CMP type that we do not win. However, this is just a Hydro Cannon. Loex recognising he's made a small mistake, goes for the no bubble, looking to counter farm down this Swampert all the way. Poliwrath does get the counter farm down. We should be able to survive a Gust, and we do. We reach the Icy Wind. The opponent surely doesn't shield this. No, trainer, why would you shield? Zapdos now looking primed to sweep back out. Comes Zapdos, and we're going straight for the kill shot. Zapdos deletes Pidgeot, vanquishes them back to their Pokeball. Zapdos upper Protect Shield has a huge 82% win rate in the Open Ultra League, and this opponent certainly doesn't have one of that 18% that beat it. High Poliwrath, by Poliwrath, get fucking wrecked. Let's go. Beautiful sweep. In the next battle, another tough lead. We see the instant pivot into Poliwrath. The counters are resisted, but both Icy Wind and Scald would hit for super effective. The opponent fires off the Poison Fang and likely pivot, and out comes yet another Charm Clefable. What is with all these Charm Clefables? I have no idea. We fire off the Icy Wind, forcing ourselves early shield advantage. Poliwrath fires off Icy Wind number 2, which isn't going to do too much, but does lower Clefable's attack now by 2 stages. Out comes Zapdos. Zapdos actually now able to withstand the charm damage really well. The opponent, of course, bait with the Meteor Mash, but undeterred, Low-X overfarms, fires off the Drill Peck, Zapdos hits like a truck, Drill Peck secures the knockout. The opponent's final Pokemon is Typhlosion. My god, this team is so weak to Swampert. We fire off the Drill Peck, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Low-X then fires off the Thunderbolt immediately, giving the opponent a full free Incinerate. We then send out Swampert. Swampert gets the Mud Shot farm down. The opponent dies with a whole heap of energy. Out comes Nidoqueen, and Nidoqueen is about to get wrecked. Earthquake going to be huge overkill. GG's, and thanks for playing. You can see there one of the downsides of using a very clunky move like Incinerate, as the opponent got sniped. In the next battle, Zapdos into Poliwrath. Do we count to 7 and look to make the catch? We actually stay in, fire off the Drill Peck, force a Protect Shield. We then throw 1 and still make the catch. It's like I can see the cogs turning. Low-X very disciplined with his count, and we catch the Icy Wind onto our own Poliwrath. The opponent banks the Icy Wind for the road and send out Skeledirge. That is not a counter switch trainer. Even with a lowered attack, Poliwrath still does half the opponent's HP. Poliwrath not quite in Disarming Voice range. Disarming Voice gets us low, but we withstand the damage. Low-X then fires off 2 counters and the next gold for optimal fast move timing, only giving away 1 free turn, and the Crocodile is sacrificed to the Pokegods. Back out comes the opposing Poliwrath. The opponent looks for the counter farm down, but Poliwrath says no, fires off the Icy Wind, once again giving the annoying debuff effect. This opposing Poliwrath is absolutely loaded, so I like the play of sending out Swampert, looking to use it as the damage sponge. The opponent actually bait with the Icy Wind. We then see the aggressive pivot into Zapdos, and we're going to see the instant shield deployed. The opponent actually full send the Scald, then send out a Powder Snow, a Alolan Ninetales. We're going for the hard-hitting Thunderbolt. Does the opponent respect the damage? Thunderbolt lands for huge damage. The opponent looks for the full Powder Snow farm down, or at least I think they did. Is that a CMP side? No shot. It looks like we actually just denied the opponent. This is called the Season of Timeless Travels, and it looks like all the old glitches are returning. We send out Swampert. Swampert invest that Protect Shield. We then fire off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon will be securing the knockout, and Poliwrath is now so low that they found themselves in Hydro Cannon range, and the GOAT is going to carry us all the way to victory. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Zapdos into Dragonite. Oof, Dragonite is not something this team particularly wants to see. Zapdos attempts to CMP tie to the Dragon Claw, but the opponent doesn't fall for it. They take the extra. We force a shield with the Drill Peck. The opponent looks for the full Dragon Breath farm down, enabling Zapdos to make Drill Peck number 2, and at least we've managed to get both Protect Shields off the opponent. We now send in Poliwrath. This Dragonite has a whole heap of energy. We respect the potential big move, and of course the opponent throws the Dragon Claw. Dragonite already at the second Dragon Claw. The regular variant of Poliwrath, pretty bulky, it doesn't do all that much damage, and the opponent now send out Gliscopod. Oof, Gliscopod walls the remainder of our team. Poliwrath fires off the Scald, which actually has respectable damage. The opponent then throw what I believe should be an Aerial Ace on the CMP tie. The opponent actually go for the Liquidation. Liquidation doesn't get the job done, so Poliwrath able to fire off Scald number 2, and it's going to be down to Swampert to clean up. Low-X still 1 Protect Shield remaining. However, he's not willing to shield, and the opponent actually master bait. What a poor bait from the opponent. Low-X giving himself a fighting shot of winning this battle. Hydro Cannon secures the knockout. Back out comes Dragonite, and they're most certainly now in Hydro Cannon range. Low-X shields up the incoming Dragon Claw. The opponent then pivot out into Tapu Fini, and this game is looking rough. Is there any way we win? We farm up, throw the Earthquake. Earthquake lands for huge damage. Low-X then farms up, traps the opponent into a CMP tile. We go for the undercharge. No way we win this game. Okay. How much health Poliwrath got? Can we counter farm down and leave with the Icy Wind? No, we're just too low. Low-X pulling off all the tricks, but unfortunately, you can't win them all. But GG's regardless. Moving on to the next one. Zapdos into Empoleon. Typing advantage with us, but the fast move pressure most certainly with the opponent. We farm up to the Thunderbolt bait with the Drill Peck. Drill Peck force your Protect Shield. Low-X kills a poor defenseless cat with his dirty master bait. However, look at the fast move pressure. We most certainly need to bait to win this matchup. Low-X looking to kill another cat. This time the opponent calls the bait, but Zapdos able to just go straight Drill Peck from this point. The opponent actually choose to 2-shield their leader, then snipe with Rayquaza, and Rayquaza is most certainly not going to appreciate the incoming Icy Wind from our Poliwrath. Even if the opponent get the Break-In Swipe debuff, I don't think any debuff will be saving them from the double super effective incoming Icy Wind. Rayquaza gets deleted in the blink of an eye. Empoleon probably dies to 2 counters. The opponent actually send out Haxorus. Holy. Double Dragon. Double Break-In Swipe when Break-In Swipe's nerfed. However, speaking of nerf, the opponent actually managed to get the debuff. However, Swampert hits so hard. We fire off the Earthquake. Earthquake still manages to get the job done. Back out comes Empoleon. The opponent looks for the farm down. However, Swampert says no and manages to take that game. Zapdos into the stupid tin can. Loex stays in. Do we see an attempted Zap Cannon catch onto Swampert? We actually farm up, throw the Thunderbolt on the CMP tie to the Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon hits for neutral, but most certainly needs to be respected. Zapdos pretty good in this matchup as the Thunderbolts hit for huge damage and Lock On doesn't do all that much damage. Loex over farms again, is not baiting. This time the opponent respects the incoming Thunderbolt and there is the attempted catch. Please tell me the opponent isn't baiting with a Focus Blast. The opponent full sends the Zap Cannon and then pivot out into Tapu Fini. Holy, how many times has Loex caught a charge move in this video? You love to see it. Great entertainment. Earthquake lands, the opponent recognizing we're going to reach the Hydro Cannon, forced to throw a Surf. Surf does secure the knockout. The opponent very nicely overfarmed, so we're forced to throw a Drill Peck to delete Tapu Fini as we don't want to tank a Surf. Drill Peck secures the knockout. Back out comes Registeel. Registeel is going to get outpaced and once again we see Loex going for a masturbating session. Loex evidently the best masturbator in the world, living rent-free in his opponent's head. We then see the aggressive pivot into Poliwrath. Poliwrath shields the incoming Zap Cannon and the opponent's final Pokemon is Skeledirge. Poliwrath able to outpace to the Skull, which will hit for huge super effective damage, and I believe we got the attack drop, but either way we're going to be able to survive one disarming voice. However, the opponent is going to be able to outpace us to the next Scald, so Loex actually opts to throw the Icy Wind, applying the debuff effect. However, this just allows the opponent to overfarm. Oof. I'm not sure on that play, to be honest, but let's see if it works out for Loex. Actually, we're able to now survive the disarming voice. Evidently, he knows more than I do. Don't listen to me. Go check him out on TikTok. If you want some better battling tips than you get on this channel. On a more serious note, Zapdos reaches the Drill Peck, and that's going to be all she wrote. Holy. Shadow Zapdos into Galarian Zapdos. Typing advantage most certainly with us, but what a cool sight to see. We farm up, throw the Drill Peck, force to Protect Shield. If I was to run Galarian Zapdos, I'd run Twin Nukes of Close Combat and Brave Bird, but the opponent does have access to Ancient Power and they are running it, so good Protect Shield. To be honest, we need to shield anything. Ancient Power does make sense in a newly buffed fire meta. I believe the opponent got the boost as these counters are now hitting for ridiculous damage. The opponent fires off one further Ancient Power. Zapdos then overfarms, fires off the Drill Peck. Drill Peck will be securing the knockout. This opponent must be ABA weak to Electric, as they stayed in a pretty poor matchup, so we pivot into Poliwrath, and there is the second thing weak to Electric, Tapu Fini. Loex opts to throw the Icy Wind, which doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as Sculp, has a 100% chance to apply the debuff effect rather than a 50% chance. That debuff does allow us to survive the Moonblast. This time Loex fires off the Skull, looking to do maximum damage. Skull gets Tapu Fini down below half health, and once again we see one further debuff. The opponent recognizing would reach another charge move, opt to throw the Surf. Surf does secure the knockout. Zapdos has the Drill Peck bank. It's going to be high Tapu Fini, bye Tapu Fini. We see the instant pivot into Swampert. Swampert in the zero shields, behind on energy, might actually lose this matchup. This is actually a purified Registeel as well. No way. What is going on? Loex fires off the Earthquake, but Registeel in the Ultra League does survive an Earthquake. They're then able to outpace. Swampert is going to get taken out. However, Zapdos still has some health. In comes Zapdos. We're getting some lag, but Zapdos manages to get the Thundershock farm down, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see Zapdos into Tapu Fini. One of the downsides of using Shadow Zapdos is it's incredibly hard to see what the opponent's running if they're using a small Pokemon. They send in Registeel, we fire off the Thunderbolt Do we see another Zap Cannon attempted catch? Yes, we do, but the opponent holds their energy. They're able to react quick enough and this time fire off the Focus Blast. Luckily for us, this one isn't purified, so there's no risk of a return. Loex farms up, fires off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon isn't quite lethal. Are we going to see Loex shield and Mud Shot farm down? Yes, we are. Not a bad Protect shield, as Swampert's energy is going to be quite useful when Tapu Fini does return. Loex farms up, throws the Earthquake. Earthquake going to land for huge damage or force a Protect shield. The opponent wisely shield, then snipe with Gliscor. Oof, that Tapu Fini is loaded. And now Gliscor has a running start. In comes Poliwrath. Poliwrath is able to outpace to the Icy Wind, which likely forces the opponent's final Protect shield. We now find ourselves in the bait game. We see the instant no shield deployed. The opponent full send the Earthquake. However, with a debuff, the Earthquake doesn't do all that much damage. The opponent this time fire off the Night Slash. Poliwrath withstands the damage, able to reach the second Icy Wind. Icy Wind double super effective, but doesn't quite knock out. The opponent then pivot out into Tapu Fini, and here comes Zapdos. We see the instant shield deployed. The opponent full sends the Moonblast, and that is going to be game over. Zapdos now able to reach the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, of course, massive overkill. Even if the opponent reaches a Night Slash, Night Slash won't be lethal. Zapdos, not particularly bulky, but easily able to withstand the damage. I thought we was going to go for the BM Thunderbolt, but it looks like we're settling for the Drill Peck, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Zapdos into Sceptile. A very spicy pick from the opponent, but something that will do very good against our backline. The opponent farm up, throw the break-in swipe, fishing for the debuff. They do get the debuff, but Sceptile made of paper. We fire off the Drill Peck. Drill Peck still almost one-shots. Zapdos will be able to survive this next break-in swipe, and we might look to snipe. We tank the break-in swipe. There's the attempted snipe. The opponent doesn't react quick enough. Poliwrath gets a very nice counter farm down. The opponent now sending Greninja behind on energy. Holy, what is in the back, trainer? Show me that Talonflame. They fire off the Hydro Cannon, then pivot out into Chandelure. No, Loex, show some mercy. What an incredibly spicy team from the opponent. Chandelure is an incredible pick. However, I don't think it will be winning this battle. The opponent actually YOLO an Energy Ball, which certainly would have got rid of Poliwrath, but Loex shielded it up, returns fire with the next Scald. Scald secures the knockout. Back out comes Greninja, and Loex is going to force that debuff effect. Icy Wind isn't quite lethal, and we snipe with Zapdos. What a team. Mr. Opponent, that was incredible. In the next battle, normal service has resumed with a very meta pick in the form of Giratina. The opponent farms to 6. This could be an ancient power. We respect it, and the opponent, of course, get the boost as well. Holy shit, we're in trouble. Ancient Power not only raises your attack, but also raises your defense. These Drill Pecks are now doing absolutely nothing. The opponent tanks 2 just for fun. We then see the pivot into Poliwrath, looking to catch the next Ancient Power. Ancient Power is resisted, and we force the opponent to switch out. What sort of counter switch is this? What is going on? The opponent fire off the Night Slash. Holy shit. Who's this opponent paid? They must have sacrificed their soul to the RNG gods, as they've got 10% chance of boosting back to back. Holy crap. Or maybe we're just playing John Hankey, as the only thing he's doing is probably giving himself better odds of winning and ignoring everything the community want us to do. But on a more serious note, back out comes Giratina. We fire off the Icy Wind, this time forcing a debuff effect on the opponent rather than giving them the boost. Loex tries his luck at the Peekaboo, sends out Zapdos, then looks to catch the Ancient Power onto Swampert, but no such luck. The opponent fire off the Dragon Claw. We withstand the damage, but Giratina already at the second Dragon Claw. Swampert able to tank this. The opponent find themselves very close to Hydro Cannon range. Loex over farms, throws the Hydro Cannon on the CMP side to the next Dragon Claw. Hydro Cannon secures the knockout. The opponent's final Pokemon is Charizard, and they gracefully concede the match. Wow, that was some boost luck. Moving on to the final battle. Zapdos into Genesect. Genesect, a real box of tricks. It's all going to depend on what Techno Blast they've got. Loex farms up, full sends the Thunderbolt, forcing himself early shield advantage. The opponent easily has enough for a Techno Blast. It's really hard to see what that is, as the shadow animation is in the way. Maybe Ice? We land the Drill Peck that did huge damage. We pivot into Poliwrath. If we're looking to make a cat, surely it's ice. No, it's electric. We did get one shot. The opponent now sends in Crobat. Crobat gets the air slash farm down. Whew. I definitely need some time off, as when I'm ill, I definitely can't shoutcast. As some of these surprise booms and crazy plays get me in shambles. Loex farms up to the Thunderbolt baits with the Drill Peck, hoping he makes 2 moves. Can we survive the air slash to make another Drill Peck? Yes, we can. But Crobat, pretty thick. Drill Peck isn't quite lethal. The opponent does get the full air slash farm down, and this is going to be a near impossible mudshot farm down for Swampert. Loex calls the Poison Fang, which is a nice play. However, Swampert is now going to be stuck with this debuff, as we've got no Pokemon we're able to switch out into to reset it. We fire off the Hydro Cannon, securing the knockout. The opponent's final Pokemon is Poliwrath. Is that an Ice Punch? That is one short of an Icy win. The opponent does have Ice Punch. Evidently, they didn't hear about this season's move update. But to be honest, not getting debuffed again is probably helpful. Earthquake just doesn't quite do enough damage. The opponent is going to counter farm down. And that is unfortunately going to draw to a close today's showcase. Huge shout out to Loex. Make sure you go check him out on TikTok if you use that platform. A link to his channel is down below. If you're enjoying my content, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. My voice is still a bit iffy. I've been ill for about a week. I've really been struggling, so I apologise for the lack of content. However, we're back on that grind. So if you like your battles featured on my channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching. And I will see you all in the next one.